So I was having a conversation with one of my training partners the other day, and so he's a blue belt, been training for probably about 2 to 3 years, getting pretty tough. But he feels like, you know, we were talking, he's like, I feel like my game is getting stagnant. I can't get to training as much. So he's maybe training like 3 times a week, 2 or 3 times a week. Can't get to training as often as I want. I feel like my game is not improving. I'm getting really stagnant and I'm just getting frustrated. So I asked him one question and I said, what are you doing outside of jiu-jitsu? So when you're not training as much, the rest of the time, what are you doing? And he said, well, I'm going in, obviously I'm training, I'm doing the drills, and that's about it. And you know, I'm going home and I'm not really doing much until I get back to training. So I was like, well, there's so much you're leaving on the table here. I think that when we can't get to training, I speak from experience because ever since I started jiu-jitsu, I was in graduate school, then I had a full-time job, now I have kids. And so I've always been busy, and getting to the gym more than like 2 to 3 times a week has always been really tough for me. So that's about what I can do. Usually it's 2 times a week. If I'm lucky, I can get in 3 times a week. So I speak from experience when I know you can get better. I know you can improve just training 2 to 3 times a week. So here are some of the ideas we talked about. The first thing is have a game plan when you're going to the gym. I understand that class is going on. There's going to be techniques or drills we're going to be working on, but also when there's full rounds, full rolling, have an intention of something that you want to achieve, whether it's an entry or a certain technique you're trying to develop or work into. Have that in your mind and roll with intention, with a game plan, and keep that in your mind when you're rolling, when you're training. Don't just go and just say, I'm just gonna get wherever I wanna, you know, wherever the roll takes me. That sometimes you can't avoid that if you're training against somebody that's a higher level than you, but someone of your level or even below, if you're a blue belt, you should be able to handle most of the white belts at the gym, so you should be able to implement and work on the techniques and the positions that you have in your mind. Number 2 is a big one, and it's one that I wish I took advantage of, and that's strength conditioning. I don't think I've ever seen anyone get worse after building more strength and more gas in the tank on the mats. I'm almost 41. And my body does respond to strength conditioning, but not as well as it did or it would have when I would have been in my 20s if I took it more seriously back then. So get your strength conditioning dialed in and having more gas in the tank and being stronger. It's only gonna help you. It's gonna make you a tougher grappler, and it's also gonna make you a little more resilient to injuries. So strength conditioning, huge, absolutely. Number 3, this is also a really, really important one, and it's nutrition. If you don't know what to do as far as nutrition goes, hire a coach, someone that's gonna make you a plan, a meal plan that you can follow that takes all the guesswork out of it. They're gonna help you lose fat if that's what you wanna do, put on muscle if that's what you wanna do. They're gonna find that blend. You don't have to go and do the like kind of figuring it out on your own. So definitely hire a nutrition coach that can guide you in that aspect. It's gonna be huge too. It's gonna help you be a better grappler as well. So that's easily something that you gotta implement. Again, something I didn't really take as seriously when I was younger. Now, I'm much more consistent and focused on my diet because I think it helps me feel better, number 1. Helps my joints and my body feel better, and also, again, my training is better. Number 4, another thing that I neglected when I was younger is getting enough sleep. Rest and recovery is super important. I'm not saying go sleep all day, but make sure you get adequate amounts of sleep. For me, it's about 8 hours a night. If I can get a little more in, that's even better, but about 8 hours. Some people like to do about 7 to 8. So again, get enough sleep, enough rest. You can do that. It's gonna help your body recover and feel better on the mats as well. Well, my light just went out. Let's keep rolling. Number 5, study. So whether it's studying matches, going through instructionals, whatever it is, try to be consistent with studying. If you can, about 30 to 60 minutes. I sometimes can squeeze in 30, but again, if you can do 30, 60 minutes, study, whether it's an instructional, whether it's a grappler that you really like, or watching a specific pass or technique, study 30 to 60 minutes. If you can do it on a daily basis, it's gonna keep things fresh. I like to take notes. I like to kind of implement, all right, this is a good idea. I wanna drill this when I get to the mats. So that's something to do. I think studying is really helpful in, once you understand jiu-jitsu, it's gonna help you understand the techniques a little better, and you'll be able to utilize instructionals and watching film to get yourself better on the mats as well. Number 6, one of my favorite things, something that I think is very, very helpful for grapplers, is mobility work. Working on making sure you have good mobility in your joints, healthy joints. I do mobility work daily. I think there's so many different ways to do mobility work and to get those joints to be healthy. I like controlled articular rotations, for example, which are joint circles. You can do those for your shoulders, you can do them for your neck, your whole body. I think that's a good daily maintenance thing that you can utilize. Again, stretching is also great to do, specific stretching as a cool down. Again, that's really important. Mobility work is going to help you stay loose, help your body stay in a good state to where your joints feel healthy. Again, if you're looking at specific mobility routines, not sure where to start, someone like myself can help you out. There's a bunch of people out there, a bunch of resources. I do a lot of specific joint training that I think is very useful for grapplers. Again, find what you like to do and try to be consistent with that. That's something you can do maybe 15 to 20 minutes a day if you can work that in. Again, if you can't do it every day, at least every other day can be helpful. And you can also do those joint circles, joint cars, to discover or find maybe areas that you're tight and limited and work on those areas, maybe spend a little more time on those places. So those are the 6 tips. So don't think that if you can't just get into training that you're not going to get any better, you're going to be stagnant. We're all going to go with fluctuations in our jiu-jitsu. We're going to go into points of where we're feeling like we're really getting it, we're hitting our stride, and then some days we feel stagnant, or some weeks we feel stagnant, and we need to kind of get out of those ruts. But again, as we're improving, so is everybody else. So we're all kind of coming up together, and I think it's hard to kind of really get an idea on whether you're getting better or not, just based on your peers and how you're doing with them. So again, 6 ideas. If you can't get into training as much as you'd like, ways you can improve. Hopefully it's helpful, guys. Let me know if you have any questions. Shoot me a comment down there in the comment section. Talk to y'all next time.